Okay, we know that the reciprocals of sine, cos, and tan are secant, cosecant, and cotangent. Today we're going to talk about the inverses, which we've talked about them a little bit already when we were solving some trig equations earlier. All right, the inverse of sine in your calculator, it's read as, oops, I forgot the pen again, sine -1 of x. But sometimes you can see it on a page as arc sine x. For cosine, in your calculator, it'll show it as cos -1 of x. But that is also can be read as arc cos x. And then for tangent, it's tan -1 of x, or same thing when I say arc tan of x. This first part is very easy. What you're doing is type it in your calculator. Let's first make sure our calculator is in degrees. You hit mode and you arrow down, make sure degrees is highlighted. And it says type arc sine 1/2. So what you do is you do second sine 1/2, and it gives you 30. So theta equals 30. And arc cos 1, that's going to give you 0. And arc tan negative radical 3, just type carefully, you get -60 degrees. Now change your calculator over to radians and do the same thing. So you hit mode and change it to radians. Arc sine 1/2 this time as a radian value is 0.5236. Arc cos of 1 is 0. And arc tan of negative radical 3 is -1.0472. Next piece, also very easy, is typing in the calculator. It doesn't matter what mode you're in, you're going to type cos, second tan, 0. You get 1. Cos, arc cos of -1 is -1. If the inverse and its regular are there, meaning cos arc cos, tan arc tan, or sine arc sine of a value is there, all you're going to do is write the value. So -1 becomes -1. Cos arc sine negative radical 3 over 2, please type this carefully. You should get 1/2. If you don't, you need to make sure you remember to close a parenthesis after that radical 3. This next piece you don't have all the information for. I am going to give you some stuff here to help you. It says use inverse trig functions to express theta in terms of x. So, this should be on your paper already. It was a little difficult for me to draw them in, so draw it now. We have x and we have x plus 1. If you look, you are given the opposite side and the adjacent side of theta. You ask yourself, does sine, cos, or tan use opposite and adjacent? Well, tangent does. So you'll say tan of your angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now the problem does say express theta in terms of x. That means you need to get theta by itself. The way you do that is to do inverse tan of both sides. You'll get theta equals inverse tan of x plus 1 over x. Another way we could write it is arc tan of x plus 1 over x. Either of the last two answers are correct. I want you guys to try one on your own here. Here's another triangle. I'm going to say that this is x plus 2. There's the angle we care about. And this is x squared. So do the same thing we did with the tangent one with this new one over here. Next piece, find the smallest positive value of theta to the nearest degree. Then find the radians. Okay, well we've done this before, and this is just a repeat of what we did last time. You have sine of theta equals 0.3455. You're going to take the inverse sine of both sides to solve for theta. Calculator, please put it in degrees, so you'll hit mode and then make sure degree is highlighted. When you type inverse sine of 0.3455, you should get about 20. And then we do inverse cos of 0.990. When you type that in, you get 3 degrees. Then we do inverse tan of 1.0355, you get 46 degrees. For this next one, you take reciprocals in order to be able to do this because you don't have an inverse cosecant button. The inverse of cosecant is, the reciprocal of cosecant is sine. And the reciprocal of 3.275 is 1 over 3.275. Then you take the inverse of both sides. And when you do that, you should get 18 degrees. For secant, the inverse of secant is cosine. The reciprocal of secant is cosine. The reciprocal of 1.2001 is 1 over 1.2001. Now you take the inverse of both sides, and you get theta equals 34 degrees. The reciprocal of cotangent is tangent, and the reciprocal of 3325 is 1 over 3325. Then you do inverse tan, and you get theta is equal to about 72 degrees. This also says find the radian measure. So I did all the degrees for you. What I want you to do is go back and find the radian measures. And the way you do that is very easy. Just change your calculator to radian mode. So you hit mode, make sure radian is highlighted, and you do the same exact thing all over. So just to make sure you're on the right track, if you do inverse sine of 0.3455 now, your calculator will give you 0.3528. Then you'll do inverse cos of the next one. And you're just going to do those 6 for me on radian values. Last piece I have here, we want to round it to the nearest minute. So let's do inverse sine of 0.2672. You will end up getting theta equals 15 degrees, 30 minutes. And the way we did that was you got a 15 point something. Remember, you have to go to second apps. Number 4 is your DMS button. You get 15 degrees and I believe 29 minutes and 50 something seconds. As long as the seconds are 30 or higher, remember we round up. So 15 degrees, 30 minutes. For cosine, you do inverse cos. You'll end up getting theta equals 14 degrees, 15 minutes. Again, make sure you use your DMS button. Second apps, number 4. And the last one, let's do inverse tan. And you'll get theta equals 82 degrees and 15 minutes. So just finish up the ones I did not finish, and we will go talk about the rest tomorrow in class.